Hey everyone, it's Andrea or Nerladra or that weird girl with curly hair, whatever you prefer. I get weird girl with curly hair a lot. And this is Dahlia, but more on her later. She'll come up again in another day. She's sleepy right now. So, as you can see, she's just kind of floppy noodle. So today is day 7. I'm sorry this took so long. I've actually been under a pile of schoolwork all week, and then I spent the entire weekend away from home. Also, I apologize for blinking so much. My contacts are really dry, and I have allergies, and my eyes dry out, and yeah, things happen, and my eyes get dry, and I blink a lot. But see, I keep doing it. Sorry, I can't help it. Today, day 7, and day 7 is what I do in my spare time. Being that I go to school full-time and I also work, so I work about 30 hours a week, that doesn't leave me a lot of free time. But I do have a lot of things that I like to do in my spare time. The usual, I need to stop saying a lot. It's kind of annoying, like it bugs me. I hang out with my friends all the time. Well, not all the time. When I have time, I like to spend time with my friends. They're a weird bunch. I like to play with my puppy. I like to snuggle with her because she's perfect for snuggling. My little furry princess, my little noodle giraffe. Noodle giraffe. Okay, go back to sleep, sweetheart. It's okay. Right. There we go. I like to cradle her like a baby because she's a baby. Okay, anyway, never mind the noodle giraffe. Okay, sweetie, I'll put you on bed. She likes to sleep on the bed. In my spare time, I do things like Tumblr. Tumblr takes up a lot of my time. It's unhealthy, but you know what? The internet is awesome. I've met a lot of really cool people. I've gotten interested in so many new things. Like, the internet, especially Tumblr, is responsible for a lot of very interesting things that have happened in my life and that actually have been very enriching. So it can be good. I like to do LARPs. For those of you who don't know, LARP stands for live action roleplay. I don't do them very often just because they require, for me, if I do something, I'd like to do it all the way. So they require a lot of time, research, and effort put into a costume and an outfit and a personality and a background. But the most recent one that I did was actually this weekend. My friend at Bard College threw a speakeasy party. Yeah, it was like, they went all out. They had the electrical lights. We had people in proper era clothing. We had burlesque shows, just a lot of debauchery, blackjack, poker. And a few of us were actually characters, and my character was named Dahlia de Pomohay. She was a mix. She was French, born in France, to a French dancer and a gypsy father, and she was a very sort of notorious thief and pickpocket. She's very, very clever with her hands and taking things. She basically spent her life just engaging in various acts of debauchery and thievery. She could do fortune telling. Her specialty was reading the tarot, and that's what I did that at the party. Actually, I told a surprising amount of people who were really excited for me to tell their fortune, and I got a lot of really interesting questions. I got somebody was having issues with some people were having identity crisis, and they asked, and the thing about the tarot, it's not going to give you, if you ask a question such as, how many kids am I going to have? It's not going to tell you 7. Those are things you ask, like the magic 8-ball or something, or some sort of crystal ball on the internet. But if you want to do something that's like, how is my upcoming year going to be? Which is what I had one of my friends ask, and, things like that we can answer with the tarot. It won't give you a definite answer, but it will give you, if it's something, it will give you the path that you will have to walk while you are making a decision, or if you make a decision, what your path will be. So that's what I did, but I quit the tarot early, and then my character had actually stolen something called Le Joie de Paris, the Joy of Paris. It was the most priceless piece of jewelry in all of France, and I stole it. Me. And I auctioned it off to I sold it to an old friend who auctioned it off, and I also could see there was also a lot of mob activity during that time, and one of the sons of the mob who was trying to move up in ranking stole the financial ledger of his family, and he was selling it. So I actually spent all my money on the fake ledger, and I knew it was fake when I looked at it. I was like, this is fake, because the ledger was written in English, but the accountant was Jewish, so the real ledger was written in Hebrew. But I knew it was fake, but I still bought it, and I managed to locate the real one, swapped it out the fake one, and then showed it to the friend who I sold the jewelry to. And together we single-handedly brought down the Hudson Valley chapter of the mob, and then we moved to New York to cause more trouble. So essentially, my friend and I won the game, which was really cool. So I do those kind of LARPs. I actually participated in a X-Men themed LARP at my first year at Bard, and that was really fun. I also won that one too. I went over to the dark side. The dark side has more fun, you know? Who wants to be one of the good guys? The friend I won the X-Men LARP with was the same friend I won the Speakeasy LARP with. Other than that, I write a lot. I actually have a blog where I post my writings. I don't update it as often as I should, mostly because it just takes a lot of time between writing and the editing process and then sitting down and putting it on the computer. It's just, I'm not as committed to it as I should be, and I'm sorry. I promise I'll do better. It's called writingisthe.drug.tumblr.com. You know, if you ever feel like checking out, go ahead. I will warn you, it's a lot of dark things in there. It's not for the weak-minded, or, you know, those are the weak continents and wispy disposition. If you're prone to fainting, you probably shouldn't read it, but it's good stuff, in my own opinion. I read a lot, constantly, all the time, and if I'm not listening to music, I'm reading. Sometimes I'm doing both. I also listen to music. I spend a lot of my time listening to music. I hate the silence, you know. Oh, God damn. Sorry. My dog has a tendency of, like, turning her butt in my direction and then just letting out these chody, nasty-ass farts. And I'm, like, constantly smelling dog flatulence. It's not cool at all, whatsoever. It just smells, like, really bad. It smells worse than her dog poo. Other than that, I doodle. I doodle a lot. I doodle on pages of things. I think up of little scenarios for movies or plays. I never write them down. Or I think of, like, ideas for dances that I'll never be able to do because I'm not a dancer. Things like album art. I just spend a lot of my time also just imagining things, and I really enjoy that because sometimes reality is boring, and whatever I can come up with in my imagination is better. I also read fan fiction. I belong to several fandoms. The Sherlock fandom, Doctor Who, not so much Glee. I don't really like Glee. I have a lot of issues with Glee. Numbers fandom, very small, but still exists. The Hunger Games fandom, Harry Potter fandom. I belong to the Donna Murphy fandom, the Meryl Streep fandom. So yeah, I'm a total fangirl. It's ridiculous. I'm not as fangirl as others, but I am a fangirl. And I read a lot of fan fiction and a lot of just original fiction, also on fanfiction.net and fictionpress.com, and you find a surprising amount of good stories, really good writing and really good content. And it's definitely interesting. It's definitely a weird opposition to my reading of published books, because I do both. I don't limit myself to just one or the other, because I like all types of writing, as long as it's good writing. Bad writing, don't start on bad writing. That'll be another video for another time, but that's what I do. internet, music, reading, writing, playing with my dog, seeing my friends, imagining things that will probably never happen, or that I probably just won't have the time to accomplish, but still good. Like I imagined this entire scenario. It's where I did this project where it's like love stories that we read about, but real ones, like a love story like The Notebook, but in real life, and just writing about that and interviewing people and finding people who have a real, tangible, solid love. That it's not perfect and it's not ideal, but it's real and it's lasted. I always wanted to do something like that, but that would obviously require a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of manpower. I don't have any of those right now, unfortunately. And like, just, I have so many ideas. Most of my time is spent coming up with ideas, and even though they'll never turn into actions, I think the fact that I come up with ideas is better than nothing. So yeah. Alright, what do you guys do in your spare time? I'd love to know. Drop me a message, leave a comment, send me a message on Tumblr, neuralajah.tumblr.com. That's NIRLAJJA.tumblr.com. Just let me know what you guys do. Do you like the same things as I do? What kind of fandoms are you? Do you write? Do you read? Let me know. Books. Read books, guys. Oh, and also, speaking of Hunger Games, my friend Shannon and I, we troll at work. That's another one of my things I like to do in my sort of spare time, is troll at work, along with my friend Shannon. We bought Hunger Games pins as a sort of, not only because we both love the Hunger Games, but also because we have a new dress code at work that is ridiculous, and it's pointless, and it's stupid, and it's kind of oppressive because we don't really get to show our individuality at work anymore. And when you're in that kind of morale, it's like you really want to hang on to the little things that you have, and taking away something like just the very clothes that you wear, that's almost demoralizing. Of course, it's not to the degree that the political atmosphere in the Hunger Games is, but it's still pretty upsetting. So we wear these as a sign of protest.